We have a couple of minutes here. Just quickly, your take, and only because he's a big name and it's hockey, your beloved sport.
Yes.
I read the Jack Eichel story that Larry Brooks put out, and I had it on my sheet to get to yesterday. We never got to it.
Right.
Any truth to this? Would you go near it? Because I know he's got the neck issue.
He's got a disc issue in his neck. He's making $10 million for the next 8 years or something.
So this
could be and I know he's a BU guy. Chris Drury's a BU guy. David Quinn was a BU guy. I don't know. You got to make sure medically that he is sound. Now, listen, when he is healthy, he's a number one center. There's no question about that. And then you have to wonder, you could have him on the team with Mika Zibanejad, and it would make it a much better offensive team and much more forceful offensive team. And he's a physical player. But I would really worry about the disc issue in his neck. That would really concern me. So I think there's some truth to the rumor. I know that Eichel, it seems like everybody in hockey believes he wants out of Buffalo.
Right.
So he will be a very attractive player if, in fact, he can prove that he is healthy.
The thing I found interesting in Larry Brooks's article was that preliminary discussions have been had, which doesn't mean anything. It could be just exploratory. But also he mentioned the fact that they still refuse to let teams see the medical records. How do you even have the conversation then?
Well, first of all, you find out whether or not the Sabres are interested in moving him. And if they are, then then you could start the process of trying to figure out what you would be willing to give up to get him. But then you also have to make sure, and every team has to make sure, and you've heard Chicago, Anaheim, and all these other teams that would be interested. The Kings obviously would be interested. You have to make sure that the medical, pans out, that he's going to be okay. I hope he's okay for his own career, but I would be very, very reticent to say, yeah, I want to add him right now without knowing all the medical particulars. You have to be specific. You have to know, and you have to talk to the top doctors in that field, and you got to find out whether or not this is a waste or somebody that, yes, can play the next 6 to 7 years at a very high level.
Not to mention what you've got to give up. He's not. You're not just signing him.
You have to give up things. You're not signing. You're accepting his $10 million a year contract, which is a lot in today's NHL, simply because it's a cap sport. Unless, of course, you're the Tampa Bay Lightning and you couldn't circumvent the cap.
We've heard,
and then go steal a Stanley Cup. But that's the NHL's fault. That's not the Lightning fault. As I've said over and over again, there's a competitive imbalance. It's just ridiculous. That shouldn't be allowed. But anyway, that's another story for another day. As far as Eichel is concerned, I would just be really, really careful and make sure that I know exactly what the medical outcome potentially could be.
All right, and that brings me back to, in a similar topic, Damian Lillard. So now you're starting to see what it might take to get him. Have you seen any of these stories? Because it is a haul.
It's ridiculous. I saw 2 first-round draft picks, quickly, Barrett, Obi Toppin. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean,
to get a top 5, top 10 player in the NBA.
I know, but
How about 2 first-rounders this year, which are 19 and 21, Barrett and Quickly, to get Damian Lillard paired with Julius Randle, and you haven't touched any other part of your team?
Well, see,
because I think I'd do it.
I think in that case, I would. Yeah, I don't mind getting rid of Quickly for him. There's no question about that. And then you can still bring Derrick Rose back, and he can be your backup point guard, and he's not going to play a lot of minutes as long as he plays like he played, and he's going to, be the force that he was coming off the bench. I'm all for that. I know that everybody wants a top-flight point guard. That's what we all want. That's what we all recognize
for years.
The Knicks need. We haven't had one. When was the last time we had really, truly an all-star point guard? I mean, Walt Frazier was a Hall of Famer, but we've never had anybody even remotely close. That may be Mark Jackson when he was here a little bit.
Great player here, sure.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what we've been missing for years and years and years. So I'm all for that, but I just want to make sure that I keep the bulk of the team together, and I don't want to lose Mitchell Robinson. That's one guy I do not want to lose. And if you're going to have to give up R.J. Barrett and Quickly to get Damian Lillard with 2 first-round draft picks, I would most likely do that.
I think you do it every day.
And then I would try to get another wing scorer. They need another wing shooter. They have good shooters. They were one of the better 3-point shooting teams this year, which was kind of odd. Maybe Obi Toppin will be a little bit better next year. I don't want to get rid of him yet either. I want to continue him to grow. And I want, he's a local kid. He's from here.
And wants to be here.
And I want to see him grow here. I want to see him be a part of the foundation here. I don't think we saw enough of him this year to really make a determination. But I'm sure the basketball experts within the Knicks, including Tom Thibodeau, maybe saw something there towards the end of the year that they feel like they can build on. But yes, they need a point guard, and Damian Lillard would be either he or Ball would be the two guys that I would definitely go after. Everybody else, Spencer Dinwiddie, all these other guys, I mean, I think they're just average. They're not.
Dinwiddie's really good. The question is he going to be 100% off the surgery and the rehab?
And the other question is can he go against Kyrie Irving? Can he go against Trae Young? Can he go against all these other great players that the Knicks are going to be seeing? And the other story that came out was it looks like Minnesota really wants Ben Simmons for some reason. I've been like, okay, take him.
No, if they're going to pay for him, you want him.
I can't
He's
imagine
yours.
that kid back in Philadelphia. I just can't. After what happened in the playoffs this year and how that fan base turned on him, I just don't see that.
I just think, just to finish the Lillard thing, we'll take a break. Just the one thing about Lillard to me, to your point about still needing this, a wing player.
Yes.
Here's what I know: you get A, the point guard; B, you get the star, all wrapped into one. You've got the up and coming star in Randall. That is a very attractive place to go, and
for another
correct.
Yeah, and they have plenty of room under the cap to be able to fit another person, whoever that person may be.
You can pay Lillard, and you can pay another guy to come here, and all of a sudden, championship caliber team.
Yeah, I don't know who puts out all of this stuff in terms of what it would take to get a guy like Damian Lillard, but I mean, if he's unhappy with what's going on and he wants a change of venue, you have to take that into account if you're the team trying to acquire him.
Except for the fact that you're going to have, I would think, multiple teams trying to get him. Like guys like that don't become available every day. And we are talking legit. I know Greg says, top 5, top 10 doesn't matter. You're talking a top 10
and
talent.
And the thing about Damian
50
Lillard
a game.
is not only is he a great point guard and he's a great leader on his team, he's also a really good shooter. I don't think people realize how good of a shooter he is. So that also takes pressure off of Julius Randle. But
I think you've got a chance to get a superstar and really keep the majority of the team and what you built intact. I really do.
And then you could also bring back Derrick Rose, and he doesn't have to play significant minutes.
15 minutes a night.
And I know he wants to come back and play here, and I hope he understands that of course he would understand if Damian came here, then he would definitely be the backup. But that would be the best case scenario for the Knicks. I want to keep Mitchell Robinson, Nerlens Noel. I want those guys because those guys are good defenders. And I still think we have not seen what Mitchell Robinson can be yet. I still think that he could be a major force in the middle, rebounding, defensive, long arms, everything that you want in the NBA from a defensive perspective inside the box. So to me, that's a guy that I don't want to get rid of.
Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the red bell so you're notified when we have new content.